Hello everyone. Since we are in the quarantine season, I thought this would be a good time to get back into making YouTube videos again. So if you want to learn how to get into PT school, I've got some tips and tricks for you. So the very first thing that I want you to realize is that there are some prerequisite courses that you're going to want to make sure that you have. So these courses such as anatomy, physiology, biology, Gen Chem 1, 2, we've got Physics 1 and 2, Psychology, and Statistics. So this is coming right from the APTA website, and I will leave the link down in the description box for these. So in terms of prerequisite courses, you want to make sure that you've got decent grades in them. Given that it is quarantine season right now, some of those online classes, you want to make sure that they are still acceptable by the grad school, especially the lab courses that may have gone online. Making sure that you've got your classes all good to go will allow you to apply for PT school. The other thing that is very important for PT school is your GRE score. So you want to take your GRE. There are 3 parts to it. There is the written, verbal, and mathematics part. And I've made a video about that in the past. So if you need more information on the GRE, go ahead and check that out. I'll leave it up here. The next thing that you want to make sure that you secure for yourself are some references. Any professor that really enjoyed having you in their class, or any professor that made a difference in your life and you think that they can be a very good representative to who you are as a human being, not just your grades. This is all about being able to showcase who you are outside of class. You want to choose those professors, and they're going to be a lot of help when it comes to writing those references and you being able to stand out in terms of thousands of other applicants who also applied for the same graduate program that you did. The other thing that you want to focus on is getting the experience that you might need. So you will need. So there might be 100 hours that are acceptable by some schools. There might be 200, there might be 300, there might be a lot more that's needed. So check in with any grad program that you want to apply to and make sure that you are completing the amount of hours that they request. Shadowing is a great way to get those hours. You can also work as a PT aide. You can work just in a PT setting in general, and that can probably qualify you for those hours. So what I did personally was I just shadowed some physical therapists and got the number of hours that I needed for the programs that I applied to. So actually I have a list on Excel that I will also post below this video. If you want that link, you can check the description box, and it has some of the colleges that I was looking at and some statistics that were important at the time. Just know that this isn't the most updated version, but I think that in terms of trying to gather what information you might need, you might be able to use this Excel sheet and be able to get some help from there. But again, it's not current, so you want to do your own information or your own research and gather your own information about that. Then the next thing that you're going to want to check with each school is if the minimum GPA requirement is met. So your prerequisite GPA matters a lot, as well as your overall GPA. You want to make sure that you have the GPA that is needed. So I believe some schools have like a 3.0. I think that's very general and very, very normal to have. So I think that's probably the one that majority of the programs have, is a 3.0. So you want to make sure that your overall GPA is above or at a 3.0. The next thing that you might want to consider is the number of volunteer hours that you need. So not only do you need the shadowing experience, but there's also a certain number of hours. So like I said before, it could be 300, it could be 200, it could be 100. And just something that you want to keep in mind is these things all are working together. So the GRE score, your prerequisite course GPA, your overall GPA, the experience that you have, the number of hours that you're gaining, and your references, just everything is looked at in a composite sort of way. It's not that one thing matters only. So just remember that if your GPA might be a little bit lacking, you might be able to make up for that with the number of hours that you've completed in a PT setting. What that showcases is, yeah, you might have not done so well on certain tests, which is why your grades might be low, but you've got a plethora of experiences in the actual setting itself, and so you probably are already exposed to the exercises that are used, how to greet the patient, how to talk to the patient, how to make a report with the patient as well as other healthcare professionals. So there's a lot that goes into being accepted into PT school, but you want to be able to make sure that you're showcasing the best version of yourself. And again, if there are certain places where things are lacking a little bit, you can make up in the number of hours that you're going to do. You can make up in how strong of references you're going to get. So keep in mind about the minimum number of references, the minimum number of the GRE scores, the minimum number of volunteer hours. Keep in check the in versus out of state requirements. So when you're looking at a graduate program, there's a lot of differences. No two graduate programs are entirely alike. So there's a lot of discrepancy between the tuition for the in-state versus the out-state. There's a lot of discrepancy between the schools that are in the Bay Area versus schools that are in LA. So that's only primarily to California. So there's a lot of differences when it comes to the type of graduate program that you're looking at, and in terms of tuition, the type of curriculum that they offer, how many clinicals they offer. There's a lot of that research that you would have to do on your own to figure out, okay, how much clinicals do I think are sufficient for me to be comfortable becoming a physical therapist once I'm out of school? How much, how many credits are they going to assign me per semester? There's a lot of that research to do in terms of just figuring out what the curriculum looks like for that ideal school of yours. And the last thing, PT school interviews. So in terms of the interview, I've got a little quote here from the APTA website, and they said applicants should be prepared to discuss why they have chosen to pursue a career in physical therapy and how they perceive the role of a physical therapist in healthcare. So essentially, with your PT school application, there's also a personal statement that goes out to every single school that you apply to. But the statement always has a specific topic. And so depending on that topic, it can be sort of difficult to convey why you're choosing physical therapy as a career. So even though that might be difficult to convey, you still want to try to kind of get that in there as to why you're choosing this career. It's just a very good idea, and to always know why you're going after the thing that you're going after, because they will probably see right through you if you don't seem passionate or considerate enough about the program itself and the career itself. So good luck to everyone who is planning on applying. I hope you guys get in. I hope that this video was somewhat enlightening and somewhat helpful. If you have any questions, go ahead and feel free to just leave a comment, and I will try to get back to you. And I hope this was helpful. Bye.